God gave a promise and then asked for it back. A father waited decades for a miracle. A son born when hope was already dead. A promise spoken by God himself. And then, one night, everything changed. What would you do? Asterisk if the same God who blessed you. Asterisk asked you to surrender the very thing you love the most. This is not just a story about sacrifice. This is a story about faith under pressure. Asterisk about obedience when nothing makes sense. Asterisk about a test so painful it echoes through eternity. Asterisk this is the story of Abraham. Asterisk. Long before he was called Abraham, his name was Abram. Asterisk. He lived in a place called Ur of the Chaldeans, a powerful and advanced city in Mesopotamia, a land filled with culture, trade, and gods made by human hands. People there worshipped idols, shaped by stone and imagination. But silent, Abram was part of that world, a man surrounded by voices, but none from the true God. Asterisk until one day, everything changed. God spoke, not through idols, not through priests, but directly. Asterisk, leave your country, your people, your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. No map, no details. Asterisk, just a command. And a promise. Asterisk, I will make you into a great nation. But there was a problem. Abram had no children. Asterisk, his wife, Sarai, was barren, and both of them were already advanced in age. From a human perspective, this promise made no sense. Asterisk, how can a great nation come from a man with no heir? How can countless descendants come from a closed womb? Still, Abram obeyed. He left everything behind, his land, his security, his past. Asterisk, and step by step, he followed a voice he could not see, but chose to trust. Years passed. God repeated the promise. Look up at the sky. Count the stars. If indeed you can count them, so shall your offspring be. Asterisk, the night sky over the desert was filled with stars, beyond number. Asterisk, and God was saying, Asterisk, this is your future. But time kept moving, and nothing happened. No child, no sign. Asterisk, only silence and waiting. Asterisk, and the question began to grow. Quietly, deeply. Asterisk, was the promise real? Asterisk, because when God speaks, and time passes, asterisk faith is no longer just belief. It becomes a battle. Time passed. Slowly, quietly. Heavily. Asterisk days turned into months. Months turned into years. Years turned into decades. Asterisk. The promise was still there, but the child was not. Asterisk, Abraham kept walking with God. He built altars. He prayed. He listened. He believed. But believing does not cancel the weight of waiting. And the years were not kind to the body. Asterisk, Sarah grew older. Her womb remained closed. Every passing year made the promise look more impossible. Asterisk, at one point, they tried to help God. Asterisk, Sarah gave her servant Hagar to Abraham. According to a common cultural practice of that time, where a servant could bear a child on behalf of her mistress, and Ishmael was born. But Ishmael was not the promise. God made it clear. This is not the one. Asterisk, the promise would not come from human strategy, but from divine intervention. More years passed. Then, one day, God spoke again. Now Abram was 99 years old, and God changed everything. Asterisk, your name will no longer be Abram, but Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. Asterisk, a name that carried a future he still could not see. Asterisk, and Sarah, even she received a new name. Asterisk, from Sarai to Sarah, princess, because she would be the mother of nations. Asterisk, when Sarah heard the promise, she laughed. Asterisk, not out of joy, but disbelief. Asterisk, how can I have a child now, when I am worn out and my husband is old? It sounded impossible. It felt impossible. Asterisk, but God responded with a question it would echo forever. Asterisk, is anything too hard for the Lord? Asterisk, and then the moment came, exactly as God had said, not earlier, not later. At the appointed time, Sarah conceived, and she gave birth to a son, Isaac. Laughter, because what once seemed ridiculous had now become reality. The child of promise had arrived. The impossible had finally happened. Asterisk, after 25 years of waiting, holding on, questioning, hoping. Asterisk, the promise was alive, breathing, growing in their arms. Asterisk, everything God had said came true. Asterisk, but what Abraham did not know, asterisk, is that the greatest test of his life would come after the miracle, not before. Isaac was no longer just a baby. He was growing, laughing, running, living the very promise Abraham had waited a lifetime to see. Asterisk, every smile of that boy was proof that God keeps his word. Asterisk, every step Isaac took was a reminder that the impossible had already happened. Asterisk, and then, without warning, everything shifted. It didn't come in a storm. It didn't come with noise. It came in silence. God spoke. Asterisk, Abraham. Asterisk, and he answered, as he always did, here I am. Asterisk, then the words came. Slow, precise, undeniable. Asterisk, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love. There was no confusion about who God was talking about. Not Ishmael, Isaac, the son of the promise, the son of the covenant, the son he loved. Asterisk, and go to the land of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. No explanation, no reason, no clarification, just a command. Asterisk, the same God who gave the promise was now asking for it back. And this wasn't just any request. In that culture, sacrifices were known. But this was different. This was not an animal. This was his son, his future. Everything God had spoken was now placed on an altar. Asterisk, can you imagine the silence that followed? Asterisk, The weight of those words, echoing in his mind, again and again. Take your son, your only son, whom you love. There was no debate recorded. Asterisk. No argument. No delay. Just a decision. Asterisk. Because real faith is revealed when obedience hurts. Asterisk. And before the sun could rise on doubt, Abraham made his move. Asterisk. Early the next morning, Abraham did not delay. He saddled his donkey. He called 2 of his servants. Asterisk. And he took Isaac, his son. Asterisk. The same son whose name meant laughter. Now walking into a silence heavier than words. Asterisk. He also took the wood for the burnt offering and the fire. Asterisk. But something was missing. The lamb. And no one said it out loud. The journey began. 3 days of walking. 3 days of silence. 3 days of thoughts that no human language could fully carry. Asterisk. Mountains of Moriah were still far away, but the weight of the command was already present in every step. Asterisk. Isaac walked beside his father, trusting, unaware of the depth of what was coming. Asterisk. And Abraham walked in obedience, carrying a pain only God could measure. Asterisk. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance, and he spoke to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Asterisk. Even in obedience, there was still faith. Asterisk. We will come back. Asterisk. A statement that held mystery, even in his own heart. And Isaac spoke, "Father?" And Abraham answered, "Yes, my son." Isaac asked a question that pierced deeper than any sword. "The fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Silence again, a moment that could have broken a man. Asterisk. But Abraham answered with faith that was still alive, even under pressure. Asterisk. God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And they walked on together, step by step, toward a place where obedience and mystery would collide. Asterisk. Toward a moment that would reveal something far greater than Abraham could understand. They arrived at the place God had shown Abraham, a silent mountain in the land of Moriah. No crowds, no distractions, only the weight of obedience hanging in the air. Abraham began to build the altar, stone by stone, carefully, quietly. Each movement carried something no words could explain. Isaac watched his father, still trusting, still unaware. Asterisk. When the altar was ready, Abraham arranged the wood. Asterisk. Then something happened that no human heart can fully comprehend. He turned to Isaac, and he bound him. No resistance is recorded, no struggle is described, only silence. Isaac, the son of promise, was placed upon the altar on top of the wood, and Abraham stood there, looking at everything God had given him, now laid before him again. The promise, the future, the miracle, all on an altar of obedience. Asterisk. Then Abraham reached out his hand. and he took the knife. In that moment, time itself feels suspended, every second stretched like eternity. The air becomes heavy. The silence becomes unbearable. The hand that once held the promise now held the instrument of surrender, and he raised it, slowly, fully, committed, and everything could have ended right there. But heaven was watching. But just as Abraham raised the knife, heaven responded. Abraham, Abraham. The voice broke through the silence like lightning, and he stopped immediately. Here I am, he answered. And the command came, clear and firm. Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. The tension that filled that mountain suddenly shifted. What felt like loss became revelation. What felt like ending became confirmation. Abraham looked up, and there in the thicket, he saw a ram caught by its horns. God had provided, just as he said. Not too early, not too late, exactly at the right moment. Abraham took the ram, and he offered it as a burnt sacrifice instead of his son. In the place that once carried fear became the place of provision. After this moment, the angel of the Lord spoke again to Abraham. And what followed was not just an ending to a test, but a confirmation of a covenant. Because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you. God reaffirmed the promise. Abraham would become a great nation. His descendants would be as numerous as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore. And through his offspring, all nations on earth would be blessed. What was revealed that day was deeper than sacrifice. It was trust, absolute trust in God's word, even when it contradicts human understanding. Abraham did not lose his son, and Isaac did not lose his life, because God was never interested in destruction. He was revealing faith, and he provided a substitute, a ram in place of Isaac. A shadow of something greater yet to come. And Abraham called that place, the Lord will provide. Because in that mountain, he learned something that would echo through generations. God does not fail his promises, even when the path is impossible to understand.